All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Friday morning. I'm Sunita Khatri, Head of Product Marketing for Microsoft's Employee Experience and AI Transformation Solutions. So it's been such an exhilarating week, filled with lots and lots of good content and discussion on the topic of AI. But we promise you we saved the best for last for a Friday morning. I'm personally really excited about the future that we are building for our customers in the AI space, where mundane tasks are automated, we have more time to focus on what matters, and experiences are truly designed to meet and anticipate your needs. That is the future of where we are going, and today we'll show you a glimpse of how you can be a part of this exciting transformation with us, with the latest innovations in Microsoft 365 Copilot, our agents, and Microsoft Viva. So let's get started. So as you've learned this week, that AI is not just a buzzword. It is a game changer, and is coming to the workplace at an unprecedented rate, rapidly evolving today's business landscape. So from enhancing individual productivity, as removing that drudgery of work, as Satya says, every person will have a Copilot, to automating business processes with agent innovation, to reimagining the customer experience that we deliver in the markets, in the industries that we serve, and most importantly, the employee experience. Now, one can argue that the employee experience is fundamentally one of the most important parts of your business transformation. The connection between engaged employees and better business performance is well established. But we continue to do research in this space to better understand how our organizations transforming in this era. And it turns out, forward-looking companies, those who are investing deeply in their people strategies, their talent strategies, their culture initiatives, their employee experience technologies, are far outperforming those who are not so much invested in these technologies. And those who are early adopters of AI technologies are seeing further and greater success on employee experience indicators, such as team productivity, engaged employees, and business resilience. And analysts and influencers, as well as business leaders, predict that the entire employee experience category is ripe for AI disruption, including the rise of employee chatbots and self-service capabilities and the emergence of AI-driven talent landscapes. This will require a tighter partnership between IT, HR, and business leaders to kind of navigate this next wave of innovation. So whatever your business priorities and strategies are, we have the robust platform to power your next generation employee experience and prepare your workforce for the future of AI. It starts with making sure that you have the right tools and applications to create that engaged and productive workforce. So Microsoft Viva provides that portfolio of capabilities to you to support those traditional employee experience technology workloads, from employee communications across the hybrid workforce, to frontline worker engagement, upskilling and reskilling talent, to holistic workforce insights. And customers are also turning to Microsoft Viva to bolster their AI adoption and measurement, and measure the effectiveness of their AI investments, all built and experienced within Microsoft 365 and Teams. And then on the right, you can see with Microsoft 365 Copilot and agents, you have that next generation AI platform to reimagine the employee experience. All right, so we're going to talk about both of these chapters today, but let's start with the first chapter to focus on the AI transformation use case. So business leaders are optimistic, but they're also cautious about their AI deployment. And not just the transparency, the security, the governance controls, the privacy, and the ethical AI, but they're asking all sorts of great questions. What does this mean? How do we enable people on a Copilot-like interface and make this a daily habit? Do we need to teach people new skills? And what's the goal of AI on our business outcomes? How will it truly redefine productivity? And most importantly, how will we measure all of this? So As consumers, we tend to pick up change rather quickly, but enterprise adoption of technology is new, it's risky, it's complex, and we've found that innovative companies, those early adopters who really engage employees through that process and prepare their workforce for the future of AI, are seeing greater return on their investment. So these organizations are seeing healthier adoption of Copilot across their license users. They're seeing greater usage of Copilot across experiences like BizChat and Copilot in Microsoft 365 apps. So better efficiency in how you get work done, higher quality of work, better effectiveness around your meetings, and more time back in your life. And they're also quickly adapting Copilot to those key functional and business use cases in sales, in service, in finance, and more. So that is where Microsoft Viva is helping. We introduced Viva nearly 4 years ago, and today it's become the leading employee experience platform in the world with over 66 million monthly active users. Viva brings together the tools that business leaders need to continuously improve employee engagement and accelerate their AI workforce transformation across 3 key pillars: communications, skilling, and measurement. So just a show of hands in the room, who here are licensed customers of Microsoft Viva? Oh, wow, many of you. So this next slide is probably going to look very familiar. If I can just click to it, there we go. So here you see the apps and capabilities that make up the different solution areas. So let's start with communications. So first, communication. Successful AI adoption starts with setting your AI strategy, creating confidence on that strategy with the right omni-channel communications, the right social communities, the right peer-to-peer learning, and leadership engagement. Next, it's skilling. You need to enable employees with the right AI skills, the knowledge, the resources to achieve those goals and deliver impact. And then lastly, measurement. Viva empowers business leaders with the insights that they need using employee engagement surveys and workplace analytics that measure impact on productivity, on engagement, and those business metrics for the most successful AI impact. So millions of people today are using Gen AI to do radical things, simplify tasks, to starting the first draft, to conducting research, to planning their vacation. And as you've learned this week, organizations are adopting AI and bringing it into the workplace at an unprecedented rate. The world is changing so fast, especially for these companies. And you're thinking, gosh, what do they have in common? Well, they're currently being transformed by AI, but they're also turning to Viva for their AI workforce transformation. So for example, Campari, a global leader in the spirits industry, is a trailblazer on how they're accelerating their AI workforce transformation. So let's hear directly on what they have to say.
Workplace Journey was designed to empower Camparistas.
We aim to stay agile by bringing the right technology at the right time to our employees, our Camparistas. AI is bringing massive opportunities. We really want our business to take those opportunities and leverage them in their day-to-day. Microsoft 365 Copilot and Viva are an important step in our journey. These tools give us a platform to improve communication, collaboration, and decision-making.
From early on, we created a community around Copilot with the goal of discovering together how Gen AI could bring value in our business context.
Tracking Copilot's productivity impact makes it easier to gather feedback, encouraging collaboration and knowledge sharing. With Viva, employees get the communications and learning they need, contributing to our 90% monthly usage rate. Camparistas are streamlining meeting prep and recap, which allows them to focus on discussions instead of manual tasks. In marketing, Copilot helps craft personalized messages, while in HR and in finance, it simplifies administrative work, driving greater efficiency across the board.
Camparistas regularly using Copilot saved about 2 hours weekly, producing high-quality work and learning new skills.
Our surveys show 80% of companies thus say Copilot reduces effort on routine tasks. With Copilot and Viva, we're building a more connected, efficient, and innovative workforce, keeping Campari Group competitive.
So as you can see, Comparistas are clearly preparing their workforce for the future of AI. Over the past year, we've seen incredible stories like Campari use Copilot to reduce those mundane tasks, the drudgery of work, and as Satya says, seeing gains that would have taken years in the past. However, measuring minutes and hours saved are fundamental to the journey, and we hear you. But what you really need is those data-driven insights to truly see and measure the impact Copilot has on your bottom line. So that brings me to the measurement pillar of Microsoft Viva in the latest innovations in this space. So this week, you may be aware, but we announced Viva Insights will be included, which is our workplace analytics capabilities, will be included in Microsoft 365 Copilot at no additional charge as part of what we're calling Copilot Analytics. So Copilot Analytics is designed to empower every business and IT leader to be able to measure the business value of Copilot and agents. So Copilot Analytics will provide you out-of-the-box experiences to be able to measure the adoption and trends, as well as customizable reporting for deeper analysis against those critical business metrics. So thank you for the feedback. We heard you. We understand that you wanted to have these capabilities as part of your Microsoft 365 license, and we are making that all available to you. So very exciting. Yay. So these capabilities are either generally available today, are in public preview, and going to be generally available in the coming year as well. So to talk about these capabilities and show you these live, I'd like to invite Karyl Singh on stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Karyl Singh. I'm the head of product for Copilot Analytics. Last year at Ignite, we announced the Copilot dashboard, and today we're excited to show you the full set of value in Copilot Analytics that will be available soon. Starting with the Copilot dashboard, the adoption page provides an overview of how many employees are licensed to use Copilot and how many are actively using it across different parts of your organization. While the default view always brings you a snapshot of the entire tenant over the last 4 weeks, you can now track how Copilot usage is trending over time, especially as you're deploying more licenses or launching targeted initiatives. For those of you who are on point for driving adoption, such as an adoption strategist, you can get a view into how employees are leveraging Copilot within different applications or experiences and see which features are being used the most per application and by which group. This helps you identify the leaders and the laggards and adjust your adoption efforts accordingly. We are continuing to bring new Copilot features as they become available. Soon, you will be able to measure a richer set of Copilot actions, such as intelligent recap in Teams. Similarly, in PowerPoint, you will be able to measure adoption of features like using Copilot to add content or organize a presentation. We're also extending insights on business chat to incorporate web, so you can now see how employees chat with Copilot to source knowledge from around the web. And continuing on this path to give you more detailed insights, we are bringing deeper measures to help you understand the maturity of Copilot adoption. Usage intensity gives you insight into how frequently different groups are leveraging Copilot. Here, you can identify the number of Copilot actions being taken or whether employees have consistently used Copilot every week in the past month. And as adoption grows in your organization, you can customize these thresholds to be more applicable to a higher frequency of use. Returning users gives you a view into how employees are progressing towards making Copilot a recurring habit. You can track what percentage of active users are using Copilot week over week or month over month, You can compare groups to identify which groups have been successful in integrating Copilot into their work on a recurring basis, and which groups may be struggling and can benefit from training or other adoption resources. In addition to the out-of-the-box experiences in Copilot Dashboard, Copilot Analytics also includes advanced analytics capabilities. You can create customized reporting for deeper impact analysis. It also provides pre-built reports to expedite time to value for the most common business scenarios. Starting this week, we are announcing the new Copilot Business Impact Report that helps you map the relationship between Copilot usage and critical business KPIs. Let's dive in. Here on the summary page, you can see how business outcomes vary based on Copilot usage. For this sales organization, you can see that the monthly win rate is 55% for employees with high Copilot usage, which is higher than the win rate for employees with medium, low, or no usage. If you want to track this relationship over time, you can view the time trend. For instance, you can see whether salespeople with higher Copilot usage end up consistently having higher win rates. The summary page also highlights the top Copilot features that are used by employees with favorable business outcomes, offering an opportunity to learn from this and model for others across the organization. Digging deeper into the view on the left, you can identify detailed Copilot usage behaviors that influence a specific business outcome. On the left, you can see that users who are in the top quartile of Copilot usage, in terms of the number of Copilot actions taken per month, are 3.2 times more likely to achieve favorable business outcomes. Similarly, we consider other deeper Copilot usage measures like usage consistency and number of Copilot features used to identify if any of these have a positive impact on the business outcomes and then rank them from highest impact to lowest. On the right side, we highlight the opportunity areas as subgroups within the organization with lowest Copilot usage, and hence they would benefit the most from any efforts to drive Copilot adoption. Next, you can dive deeper to understand how employees with favorable business outcomes are using Copilot to get their work done. On the left, you'll find the top Copilot features used by employees with high win rates. In this case, prompts submitted via business chat is the most used feature. And on the right, you can double-click into this top feature to understand the average usage per person and how it is trending over time. You can customize the groups in this view by any organizational attribute available, such as subgroups within sales, specific geography, or job title, making it easier for you to take action. The last section of the report brings in Copilot-assisted hours and assisted value as measures of personal productivity to complement the business impact narrative. Copilot-assisted hours represent the time Copilot was able to assist users in getting their work done, and Copilot-assisted value represents the dollar or currency equivalent of the assisted hours. The view on the left highlights the difference in Copilot-assisted value between employees with low Copilot usage and high Copilot usage at a per-user level. And then on the right, you can see the potential assisted value gained if all inactive or low usage employees were to increase their usage up to the same level as that of the high usage employees. While this demo focused on how you can leverage the Copilot Business Impact Report to understand the relationship between sales KPIs and Copilot usage, the possibilities don't end here. You can use the same report to evaluate the impact of 𝗦𝗽𝗻𝗻 Copilot on multiple business outcome metrics per function. And soon, you will be able to measure the specific impact your agents have on your business processes too. And with that, I'd like to invite Sunita back on stage to share more innovations with you.
Thanks, Karyl. All right. So what good is it for me to be up here on stage and talk to you about Copilot Analytics without sharing our own journey here at Microsoft? So the sales organization at Microsoft recently turned to Copilot Analytics to better understand how usage of Microsoft 365 Copilot was impacting business outcomes, drilling down on seller KPIs or productivity KPIs like revenue per seller, pipeline, close rates, And through this discovery process, we were able to relate high usage to better sales performance. And of course, as Kathleen says, our commitment to data-driven insights just isn't about the numbers. It's about really understanding the human experience and how AI is continuously helping us cultivate a thriving workplace. So by using Microsoft Viva Glint and Copilot Analytics, we're able to determine that higher Copilot usage actually results in increase in impact to our engagement scores. So clearly a promising signal that Copilot is not just impacting productivity and business metrics, but it's really contributing to the culture here at Microsoft to create an energized and empowered workforce. All right, now let's talk about skills. So today the skills landscape is fast, it's changing, but it's also rather complex. Business leaders need to better understand their workforce skills gaps, and many of our customers are doing significant manual work to curate and manage taxonomies and role architecture and keep those up to date. So over the last year, we introduced a new skills inferencing engine in private preview to over 30,000 users to our Microsoft Viva customers. So Skills in Viva is an inferencing engine that's powered by the Microsoft Graph, then mapped to a built-in skills taxonomy from the LinkedIn Skills Graph to accurately infer skills and empower organizations with agile skills taxonomies and continuous insights. So we continue to be really excited about bringing this new skills data and insights to experiences across Microsoft 365 Suite, across Microsoft Viva, and hopefully Copilot as well. All right, before we move on to the next chapter of today's discussion, over the last 6 months, we've introduced many capabilities across the Viva portfolio designed to support your AI adoption journey that are now included as part of your Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So if you haven't taken advantage of these capabilities today, I highly encourage you to start. All right, let's talk about the second chapter, employee services. So our goal with technology and with AI is to create a daily habit, to deliver experiences that are transformative and to use daily. We know that a key pain point in the employee journey really revolves around basic HR and IT support. These are day-to-day problems that employees encounter that really matter to them. But research shows us that AI could be doing a better job here. In fact, 76% of employees find it difficult to quickly access company resources and guidelines that are important to them. And over half of them struggle to locate those workplace tools, whether that's for a password reset or a device setup or a PTO policy. Like, how many of us in the room are familiar with this pain point? Does this resonate? Okay. Not to mention, if you look at the bottom of the slide, there are so many different service teams that are delivering experience to employees in silos across HR and IT and facilities and beyond. This is where Copilot and agents can help. So Microsoft 365 Copilot enables that seamless AI and human collaboration, works as your personal assistant, enhances individual productivity, and as Satya says, every person will have a Copilot. And with agents, we can make Copilot work better for us to support and accelerate those enterprise-wide business processes. So think of Copilot as the new canvas for employee experience, and agents will transform employee services. And to make it easy for you, we are bringing you a new agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot designed for employee services at no additional cost. So this week, you probably saw, we announced a new employee self-service agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot, now in private preview. It's a new set of capabilities to expedite common workplace policy-related questions and simplify those HR and IT-related tasks all in one place for faster resolution and a streamlined employee experience. So this agent will be configurable in Copilot Studio for admins to connect to those knowledge bases like SharePoint and those systems in HR and IT For end users, it'll be pre-pinned directly in Microsoft 365 Business Chat to make it seamless and discoverable. So, essentially, in this new world, you no longer have to navigate to a bunch of resources and portals and silos, different HR and IT systems. You'll be able to turn to BizChat and say, gosh, what's my latest PTO balance? Log a PTO request, and get back to your day-to-day. It's simply that easy. So, to show you this ease and this agent at work, I'd like to invite Lucy Hitz on stage.
Thanks, Sunita. I'm Lucy Hitz, lead PMM for the Employee Self-Service Agent. And as someone who came back from parental leave not too long ago, the demo I'm about to walk you through holds a special place in my heart, using AI capabilities to make parental leave planning and return to work easier and faster, so employees can focus on what matters, like adjusting back to work, driving impact in their roles, and that sweet little newborn. So with Microsoft 365 Copilot, everyone has their personal AI assistant that is deeply embedded and integrated in work. And now we're augmenting Copilot with the specialized skills and capabilities that Sunita described. So today we are introducing the Employee Self-Service Agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. And we're going to get a glimpse of the Employee Self-Service Agent's value through the eyes of Kat Larson, a Rel Cloud employee, ensuring she has a supportive experience at Rel Cloud before starting her new family, all the way through adjusting to life back at work with the right devices, benefits, and resources in place. So Kat is planning to go on parental leave soon and uses the Employee Self-Service Agent, which comes pre-pinned for easy access, to quickly check her vacation balance. And the agent reveals her time off balance and geographically and role-relevant policies information. It combines data from multiple sources, easily configurable in Copilot Studio, more on that later. And the intelligent prompts at the bottom of the screen are going to recommend what's our parental leave policy as a probable next question that Kat will want the answer to. So Kat clicks on the prompt to learn more, and she finds out that Rel Cloud offers 12 weeks of parental leave with added flexibility to extend her time off using available paid leave based on official sources she can count on as accurate. So the Employee Self-Service Agent returns a response from company resources marked as official by Rel Cloud's IT admin, including sources like Rel Cloud's HR intro web, data from the Microsoft Graph, and Kat's personal employee data. So the agent also integrates with IT and HR systems of record via Microsoft-built connectors with Workday, ServiceNow, SAP, and more to ensure this accurate and personalized experience. And now that Kat has all the information, she is ready to apply for parental leave, but doesn't know how. So she asks the Employee Self-Service Agent, and the agent returns a response, but doesn't leave Kat alone to take the next step. It suggests completing the task directly in the agent by clicking Start Request. Kat clicks Start Request, and the Employee Self-Service Agent returns a form with a reminder of her 12-week max, where she can fill in start and end date. She fills out the form, clicks Submit, and receives confirmation that her request has been submitted, including case ID number, so she can make adjustments, and ask the Employee Self-Service Agent for updates on the request later. And now Kat has returned from parental leave and knows she can turn to the Employee Self-Service Agent for trouble she's having accessing company resources on her phone. True life, this happened to me. So since this is a common query with changing security requirements at Rel Cloud, it shows up as a pre-configured prompt on Kat's Employee Self-Service Agent home screen. She clicks in, and the Employee Self-Service Agent returns instructions for resolving her issue. So the agent is thinking, and it's going to give her a step-by-step guide to what to do to resolve her issue, as well, of course, as all the footnotes that she can click into to learn more. And then Kat follows these instructions, but to no avail, so she asks the Employee Self-Service Agent for more help. But she does not have to navigate away from her Employee Self-Service experience to go to another site. She asks the agent for help. And important to also note that we're bringing diagnostic support for Microsoft products and services into the Employee Self-Service Agent. So hopefully you won't even need to create that ticket, but that experience will also be layered in here. Kat takes the agent up on its offer. She clicks Create Help Desk Ticket and can complete her ticket, powered by ServiceNow in the employee self-service agent without having to navigate to another tool. Kat completes and submits a new support ticket without having to leave the employee self-service agent. And Kat has now resolved her IT issues, but is having trouble adjusting and navigating hybrid work challenges with her manager. So she once again turns to the employee self-service agent for help. The agent uses its fine-tuned LLM to identify this is a task which requires human intervention, recognizing the sensitivity of the matter. The agent identifies the need for human assistance and connects Kat directly to HR support for further help. She can directly contact an HR representative, create a ticket, or even start a new chat with a live agent. Now let's take a look at the Copilot Studio experience for the employee self-service agent. As you know, Copilot Studio is our low, no-code platform for extending Microsoft 365 Copilot and building agents with ease. The employee self-service agent is customizable in Copilot Studio, where admins can use new pre-configured templates and connectors to the right authoritative knowledge sources like SharePoint and popular HR and IT third-party systems like ServiceNow, Workday, SAP via Microsoft built connectors. As 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀, IT admin at 𝗦𝗲𝗀, I visit my overview screen for employee self-service. I click on Customize, and I'm taken to the screen where I can select from various HR and IT providers. I click on ServiceNow, which stores my organization's employee HR data. I install the ServiceNow connector and begin to set up the connection. I complete the authentication and details to finalize the connection, and the installation is complete. And now that my connector is set up, I can toggle the data I want employees to have access to based on my unique business requirements. So, for example, admins may want to toggle on and off employees being able to use a self-service agent to reveal their compensation details or retrieve their cost center. And in this example, I'm good with the pre-configured enablement settings, so I click Knowledge, where I find all my existing knowledge sources, including internal SharePoint sites that host policy data, ServiceNow, a relevant public site, and even a hosted PDF file in my Microsoft Graph. I click Add Knowledge to add 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀 HR's core SharePoint site so that the employee self-service agent can return answers from this authorized source. I select SharePoint, paste in the URL for the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 HR SharePoint site, click Add, and I'm all set. But I want to make sure that only certain information from the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 HR site is revealed in answers to create the best experience for employees. So I head to Advanced Settings, where I make sure that only information added from January 1st, 2024 on will be retrieved to ensure that employees are not receiving outdated information. There are additional filters here that admins can add to customize the information that employees receive, including author, page title, who the page was created or modified by. I save and take them back to the knowledge screen, and now we'll take a look at topics. So with a pre-configured topic workflow library around key HR and IT topics and connected to my SharePoint knowledge sources and HR and IT systems of record, I don't have to start creating the best and most efficient experience for employees from scratch. I click Sensitive Interruption, and I'm taken to that workflow, where I get to customize the already suggested experience to meet my organization's needs and compliance guidelines around sensitive issues where human intervention is needed. So this is where I can add, modify certain words that are then going to trigger a flow to push to human intervention. And I can also edit the response, but you're not starting from scratch. This is pre-built for you. I return to the topics library, and I click on Manage Dependents, a task that an employee like Kat from earlier in the demo, a new mom, might be interested in completing directly from her employee self-service agent experience. Here, once again, I'm taken to the existing topic workflow, which is pre-built and editable for me, so I don't have to start from scratch, but also have the flexibility I need. Now when Kat is ready to ask about her newborn benefits, she's taken through the flow which has been pre-built for her organization by the agent and reviewed by her HR or IT admin in Copilot Studio, accelerating time to value for HR and IT teams and delivering on the promise of an improved employee experience to 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 employees. I'm going to invite Sunita back on stage now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Lucy. So now that Lucy has given us a demo and a quick glimpse into the employee self-service agent, I am honored to have two very special guests in the room with us here today who've been on this employee self-service journey with us from the very, very beginning. I'd like to invite our product leader, Kirk Gregersen, and Microsoft's employee experience leader, Fernandez, on stage to talk more about how we are bringing this experience to life for our customers, our partners, and our employees at Microsoft. All right, so I thought maybe we can just start with both of you introducing yourselves to the audience, and maybe Chris, we can start with you.
Hi, yeah, sure. My name is Chris Fernandez. I'm the Corporate Vice President of HR Services and Digital Employee Experiences at Microsoft, and my team has responsibility for all of our HR tools and systems, as well as all of our HR operations, spanning all disciplines within the function, like compensation, staffing, and so on.
And I'm Kirk Gregersen. I lead the Viva and employee self-service product teams. Have been on the Viva journey for about 3 years now, at Microsoft for about 25 years. So a lot of different, I've met many of you in the past, I'm sure. So great to be here.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to start with you, Kirk. You've been on this journey with us from the very, very beginning. So tell us a little bit more about this vision, how it's been manifesting from your perspective.
Yeah, we started thinking about employee self-service specifically with really two design points in mind. One was that we know from the telemetry that Karyl was showing earlier that users, employees, all of us individually are increasingly making it a habit to go to a general purpose chat agent to start a lot of our inquiries at work. And in this case, in the context of biz chat, we know this is happening increasingly daily. At the same time, we know that customers have literally hundreds of ISV solutions, entry points, tools, and now agents in this space if you look across all these different self-service categories. And so, a big part of what we're trying to do with ESS, or the employee self-service agent, is create a somewhat vendor-agnostic hub where an employee can go to get started with those types of queries, and then we do a great job, presumably, orchestrating handoffs to more specific agents where we need to, but then also answering the employee's question in line or completing simple workflow where we can, because we know you don't want to have to take people out of context every time. You want them to be able to finish some of these kinds of things in the flow of work. Another thing we know is that a majority of human-assisted workflow, particularly in the HR space, in most companies, is just simple policy retrieval, questions about a company's policy. Now, you want to be able to leverage an LLM or generative AI at some level for that type of thing, but you don't want it rewriting your policy or sending you to the wrong tools or policy links. And so, a big part, as Lucy shared, is also about adding features to Copilot that enable you to configure authoritative sources or make sure you're delivering the right verbatim response with the right context for the user. And so that's a big benefit here. And then finally, again, going back to the handoff piece, one of the things we can do by having employees think of starting in this hub is we know a lot more about their context and intent. So like if we're handing off to a specialized agent, we can pass along a lot more context and information so they can be deeper into that experience from the start. Or again, we just know more about how to get the employee to their end goal faster. So those are kind of the three areas: orchestration, making sure you can tune your LLM to your company's policy, and then the contextual piece.
Yeah, the sensitivity to topics is really, really important, because you can have topics that you don't want just the large language model to produce any kind of result, right? And so this really helps to bring the right responses to.
Yeah, even send it directly to a human where you need to.
Exactly, when human intervention.
Not summarize, et cetera.
Totally. So Chris, we are actually Microsoft is the very first customer of the employee self-service agent, which is really exciting. In fact, I think we just celebrated a milestone in our journey. We've rolled out to about 5,000 Microsoft sales employees just recently. So tell us a little bit in your own words about our journey so far.
Well, first, my main focus in my role is to think about ensuring employees have a great experience whereby they can do their best possible work. HR has lots of engagements with employees on a regular basis, yet it's often a cacophony of exchanges and not a very much so a symphony of exchanges. We often want to utilize technology to amplify how we engage with employees, but it's disparate. We have hundreds of tools. Employees are often conflating how to get to the tools, how to discover the tools, how to use the tools. We invest a lot in these tools, and yet we don't always get a good return on those investments. And the experience isn't where we want it to be. When we started to see what employee self-service as an agent could be, myself and my team got super excited. We saw the possibilities. We saw quickly that we could plumb into authoritative sources like our system of record, SharePoint sites, et cetera, and really tee up insight and knowledge in ways that an email exchange would have never been able to scale to or wouldn't have been able to accomplish the insights that the employee or the individual is looking or seeking to get insight and information on. For us, that's been very exciting because we're able to amplify engagement accurately in ways we could have not done before. We're moving away from email exchanges as the primary modality by which to get insight and information. And we're also creating authoritative content in ways that the domain experts in the profession of HR, and this is true for IT as well, and this would be true for any functional area, can really amplify their knowledge, their skills, and their insights by having their stamp into those policies and procedures, into those knowledge bases, that then can be amplified out to many people. That's a huge motivator if you're in a job like an HR role or a finance role or an IT role, et cetera, to be able to glean that type of insight and see your work amplified out to people and enabling them to have a better experience in their jobs.
I love that. And, I think one of the things that you just mentioned is like HR and IT. So the vision here is to really reunify the end user experience, right? Employees don't really care whether it's coming from facilities or IT or HR. They just care about that. So tell me about how you're thinking about this manifestation of like all things coming together in this one experience.
So HR and IT, I met with my IT colleagues, we had great dialogue around how do we ensure where there's a lot of overlap and handoffs across our two functional areas that the employee is central to the experience. Think of onboarding in new hires, for example. When you onboard somebody into an organization, you want them to be set up with their computer correctly and accurately so that they have the right hardware, they can do their jobs out of the gate, have an email alias set up quickly. You want to be able to get them their benefits quickly and seamlessly. There's a whole list of things you want to ensure that the person coming into the organization gets swiftly and quickly, and the source of which most people don't care where it comes from. They want it teed up in a way that's easy, intuitive, and seamless. Therein lies the value and the benefit for the employee self-service agent. IT and HR have a lot of handoffs naturally. We thought this would be a great focus point, and we've been capitalizing on that accordingly. And we're taking a lot of those learnings, and we'll apply them to other functional areas over time to create this total experience for employees, seamlessly knit it through the eye of the employee self-service agent. And so that, for us, has been exciting. We see the value and benefit already. And again, I want to say this clearly. It's not just for the value and benefit of the employee or the person in the organization. It's also the workers, the functional experts, being able to have their ideas and insights amplified because they are content area domain experts. If you're sitting in a role like I've been in Microsoft almost 20 years. I was at another organization prior to Microsoft for about 10 years. You often see your work sort of cloistered into the space that you're operating in, and people may not have access to your expertise. The employee self-service agent amplifies that expertise through having authoritative sources that you're contributing to. So it both motivates the functional expert and creates insight and accessibility for employees that they would otherwise have not had in the past. So for us, we're super excited about the employee self-service agent. We see it materially shifting how people experience work.
I love that. And from your perspective, Kirk, how are we making this easy for folks who are in the audience right now, whether their job is in IT, their job is in digital employee experience or HR? Like, how are we making that easy from a configuration perspective?
Yeah, so there are a couple things we're doing there. One is, as Chris mentioned, from the start, really co-creating with not only our own HR org and our internal IT and legal organizations, but we have had a great set of private preview customers that we're co-innovating with, as well as some key partners. And this is helping us think about the requirements a bit more expansively and get really early requirements in. It's part of the reason why we started investing in this area with Copilot in the first place. The second thing is we're leveraging kind of the standard model for building these types of agents or configuring these agents that we're asking customers use generally with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So all of the things that Charles Lamanna or Satya showed in the keynote about building right from the start with Copilot Studio, you can do all the configuration through that. Yep. With a bunch of pre-configured templates, connectors that we're helping build out, workflows, et cetera. And then the last area I would say is we're also doing a richer level of role administrative capabilities around different roles. What access different roles can have. Roles that may not be IT related at all. So an HR content manager, how can they do content related things without potentially affecting other parts of the employee self-service agent. And so really a richness in terms of the role definition and role flexibility there. So those are kind of 3 areas I would say where we're.
I love that. I love that. I know we're close on time. I had couple more questions for you both. One, the relationship with integrations with third-party systems are incredibly important to really bring this to life. So I guess my question for you, Kirk, is what are we doing to actively work with our ecosystem of partners to make this to come to life?
Yeah, so you saw, there's a great set of partners, real diversity of partners, in fact, already investing in integration with Copilot itself. And so we're essentially riding along on what partners are already doing with Copilot at a foundational level. So, think about Microsoft Graph connectors for knowledge retrieval, Power Platform connectors for, more workflow-related things. Beyond that, again, one of the opportunities that we jointly have with a lot of our partners in this space is to, again, enable a much more contextual and directed handoff when an employee does have a more complicated query. So, working with a bunch of these folks individually to figure out, hey, how do we make sure that we're providing the right context around that employee to the more specialized custom agents where we need to. So, a lot more to share there, but yeah, kind of on those 2 levels.
We're headed in a multi-agent world, right? And so that's going to be the reality, is that we're going to have to sort of contextually reside with multiple agents.
Yeah, and even if you have a homegrown agent or,
right.
or something that an SI is built for you, you can still apply the templates or a lot of the workflows to your own connectors too.
Awesome. Well, as we wrap up here, just would love to open it up to both of you to see if you had any sort of parting and closing thoughts for the audience here.
I'll simply say this, as I said at the very beginning of my answer to the first question. The employee self-service agent is a great illustrative example of how work can be materially changed for individuals in a positive way, where they can get insight, knowledge, information at scale that's accurate and reliable, freeing them up to go do their best work, and also enabling the practitioners, the functional practitioners, to engage with core content authoritative creation that I think is pivotal to most people's interest in their work, to be able to have impact in that way. It's going to vastly change how people experience work. I certainly could say in the HR profession it will vastly change and reimagine how HR is done, creating a better experience for employees. I'm excited about the future, and I'm looking forward to the path forward.
Yeah, I would just say, we're excited about the private preview we're in right now for the employee self-service agent. Thanks to the customers and partners who are participating in that. After the holidays, we'll be kicking off a broader private preview. So if you're interested in registering for that, reach out to your account team or your Microsoft rep, and we can get you connected in terms of registering interest to participate in that. Going into public preview and GA then, in the first half of this next year. So just, please give us feedback, and thanks to those who are already, co-creating and co-innovating with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you both for being here and helping bring this to life for all of us. We are at the end of our time here today, but I see many of you still seated in your chairs. So do you have any burning questions for our panel? Oh.
people might have a hard time finding documents, and that's why they go to the employee experience agent. What if you forget about the employee experience agent and you just ask regular biz chat? What does it do then?
Yeah, so one of the things we're doing is working on base biz chat too, even to make sure it's, when it gets a more generalized intent that's in this space, that it's suggesting this hub. So at a baseline level, that's I would say the starting point for that kind of thing. Plus, Copilot itself is building in a bunch of safeguards to make sure that we're not necessarily pointing people at the wrong thing. But to the extent we want to get people to the right thing without just saying, hey, you know, we can't satisfy this query, that's where this comes in. There's a bunch of other things we're doing at a sort of lower level in terms of integrating some intents in this space to get you to the hub, but that's the foundational thing.
It's a good question. Any other questions? I think want us to cut off.
You get walk-on music,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's either walk-up music or they keep trying to play us off.
We didn't get that.
I was wondering about multi-language support. So say you have English and Spanish, you know, speaking folks at your company. Like, is there an opportunity to have an option in there where when they first enter, they get an option, kind of like a phone prompt, where it's like, hey, if you speak English, press 1, you know, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, this is one of the beauties of Copilot generally is we're building it to essentially deal with language automatically at some level. And so, you know, you won't have to sort of do that level of designation. We ride off the existing settings, and, you know, we'll have language tier support like we do for Microsoft 365 generally. So the coverage there will be pretty good. You know, we've started with a narrower set of languages at some level, not so much because of language, but because of geo coverage of ISVs and that type of thing, but it'll move pretty fast.
All right, that was our cue. I think they want us to shut down. Thank you so much, everyone. There's some additional resources for you on the side.
They kept trying to play us off.